Listen, if somebody truly misses you, you won't have to guess it. You won't have to go chasing, begging, or wondering what's going on. See, when the heart aches for somebody, it shows. They'll slip up. They'll call when they said they wouldn't. They'll like that picture they had no business clicking on. They'll find some excuse to ask you something simple like, hey, do you still got that thing I left at your place? When really what they left behind was their own peace of mind. When a person misses you, their pride can't keep the truth locked up forever. That mask they wear, it cracks. That silence they're hiding behind, it slips. Before long, their actions start speaking louder than their words. And that's what you watch for. Not the promises, not the excuses, the slips. Real feelings always reveal themselves. No matter how carefully a person tries to hide them. You can put on a mask. You can act strong. You can even tell yourself you've moved on. But the truth has a way of slipping through the cracks. When somebody feels something deeply, whether it's love, regret, or longing, it can't stay buried forever. The human heart isn't built to carry emotions in silence without eventually showing signs. You'll see it in their eyes, hear it in their voice, or notice it in the little things they do that don't quite match the story they're trying to tell. Think about it. A person might swear they don't care anymore, but then they can't resist checking up on you, scrolling through your pictures, or asking mutual friends how you've been. They might act like they're fine, but a slip of the tongue, a late night message, or even a moment of hesitation gives them away. That's not weakness. It's simply truth. Emotions don't disappear just because someone wants them to. They seep out in small, unplanned moments, the ones they can't control. The beauty of this is that you don't need to chase validation. If someone genuinely feels something for you, it will show. You don't have to dig, force, or beg for it. Authentic emotions have a natural way of revealing themselves. It might take time, but eventually what's real will rise to the surface. People might lie with their words, but their actions will always betray them. It's in the way they linger when they see you, the way their mood changes when your name comes up, or how they show up in your life by accident. None of that is truly an accident. It's evidence of what their heart won't let them hide. But here's where many people get stuck. They waste their energy waiting for someone else's feelings to show, as if their own life depends on it. That's the wrong approach. Real feelings might reveal themselves, yes, but you can't build your world around someone else's emotional timeline. Your worth doesn't sit in somebody else's hands. When you know who you are and what you deserve, you don't need proof from another person. You understand that their slips, their actions, and their truth will surface in their own time. But whether they do or not, you continue to live fully. There's also a lesson here about patience and perception. If you're always watching closely, analyzing every little detail, you might miss the bigger picture. Real feelings don't always show up in dramatic ways. Sometimes it's subtle. Sometimes it's just a look across the room or a message that seems casual, but is loaded with unspoken meaning. It takes a calm, secure heart to recognize that without becoming obsessed with it. Real feelings reveal themselves, but they don't come on demand. They come naturally in ways that remind you emotions are powerful forces, stronger than pride, stronger than excuses, and stronger than denial. So, the next time you find yourself questioning if someone feels something for you, remember this truth. You won't have to pull it out of them. If it's real, it will show. Maybe not today, maybe not tomorrow, but sooner or later, feelings make themselves known. Until then, you focus on living your life, chasing your dreams, and protecting your peace. Because when people slip, when their guard drops, when their heart speaks louder than their mind, you'll see it clearly. Real feelings don't hide forever. They always find a way to reveal themselves. Slips are the giveaways. You can pretend to be strong. You can act like you don't care. You can walk around with your head high as if nothing touches you. But when the heart still holds on, those little slips expose everything. A slip is not planned. It's not something you rehearse. It happens in the unguarded moments when your emotions step ahead of your pride and your truth comes out without permission. That's why slips are powerful. They reveal what words try to hide. Think about someone who swears they've moved on. They might even convince the people around them and maybe even themselves that they're done. But then late at night when the world is quiet, they send a message they said they'd never send. That's a slip. Or maybe they're scrolling online and suddenly accidentally, like a picture from months ago, that's another slip. They didn't plan it, but it happened because emotions are stronger than self-control. Pride is loud, but the heart is louder, and it always looks for a way to be heard. Slips also come in conversation. Someone might bring up your name and they laugh it off, saying they don't think about you anymore. But the tone of their voice shifts, or their eyes drift in a way that betrays them. That's not rehearsed. That's the heart speaking for itself. Or maybe they remember small details about you they should have forgotten, yet they slip them into conversation without realizing it. Those moments are the giveaways that they haven't really let go. The beauty of slips is that they are unfiltered truth. A person can rehearse what they want to say. They can build walls and act like they're strong enough to move on. But the slip breaks through all of that. You can fake a smile, but you can't fake the way your stomach flips when you see someone you miss. You can try to avoid contact, but when your hand reaches for the phone out of habit, that's not strategy. That's emotion guiding you. But here's the key. Slips don't just reveal someone else's truth. They also test yours. If you spend all your time waiting for slips, you're putting your worth in someone else's mistakes. You're watching their every move, hoping for signs, when the real question is, why do you need them to slip to believe what you already know? Their slips may be the giveaways, but your strength should be in recognizing them without letting them control your direction. Another thing about slips, they don't always mean reconciliation. Sometimes they're just reminders that people are human, that feelings don't switch off like a light. Just because someone slips and shows they still think about you, it doesn't mean they're ready to step up, do right, or meet you where you deserve to be. The giveaway is not always an invitation. Sometimes it's just confirmation that you weren't imagining what you meant to them. And that in itself can be enough to know you mattered, even if the story doesn't continue. So when you see the slips, the call at the wrong hour, the message they said they'd never send, the look in their eyes they can't hide, understand what it is. It's truth breaking through. It's emotion cracking pride. It's a giveaway, a sign that what was real doesn't just vanish. But don't get stuck on slips. Don't live your life waiting for someone to reveal themselves through mistakes. Because while slips show you what's in their heart, they should never stop you from following yours. At the end of the day, slips are the giveaways, but your peace comes from knowing you don't need them. Their truth will find its way out on its own. Yours should already be guiding you forward. Pride can't hide the truth forever. A person can put on a front, walk around with their chin up and act like everything is under control. But deep down, the truth has its own way of rising to the surface. Pride is like a mask. It might cover what's really going on for a while, but it doesn't erase the feelings underneath. You can't bury emotions with ego because emotions are alive, and alive things always push to be seen. Think about when someone claims they're over you. Say it with confidence, maybe even a little arrogance. They want everyone to believe it, but pride speaks louder than honesty in that moment. And pride is temporary. Pride is about appearances. The truth, on the other hand, is about the heart, and the heart is stubborn. It doesn't let go just because someone wants to save face. Eventually, the truth leaks out in small ways. A sudden pause when your name comes up, a hesitation before they answer a question, or even a defensive reaction when they hear about you moving on. That's not strength. That's pride struggling to keep the truth locked up. The thing about pride is that it's fueled by fear. People use it as a shield because they don't want to look weak, vulnerable, or exposed. They don't want anyone to know that they still care, that they still hurt, or that they still wonder about you. But the shield doesn't hold forever. Sooner or later, the heart pushes through. It could be in the form of an unexpected message, a small gesture, or even an apology they swore they'd never give. That's because pride is about control. But emotions don't follow rules. They break through when you least expect them. And here's the thing. The longer someone hides behind pride, the heavier it gets. Carrying that weight eats at them. They might smile in public, laugh with friends, or even act like they've moved on to something better. But when they're alone, when no one's watching, the truth sits heavy. You can't escape yourself. You can't outrun what you feel. Pride only delays the moment when truth finally shows up. And when it does, it shows up stronger than ever. But don't mistake this as a reason to wait around for somebody's pride to crumble. That's not your responsibility. Too many people waste their time hoping for the day when someone finally admits the truth. That's not the point. The point is knowing that no matter how hard people try to hide what's real, it doesn't disappear. It will reveal itself in time, whether to you, to them, or to both. And when it does, you'll recognize it not by their words, but by their actions, their slips, their unguarded moments. The lesson for you is simple. Never let pride fool you into questioning your worth. If you know you gave love, if you know you were genuine, then you don't need somebody else's confession to validate that. Their pride may delay their truth, but your truth should always be steady. You loved, you cared, you showed up. That's your truth, and you don't have to hide it. So yes, pride is strong, but it's not stronger than the truth. You can fake a smile. You can hold your head high. You can tell the world you don't care, but the heart will always speak eventually. Pride can buy time, but it can't buy peace. And peace only comes when truth is allowed to stand in the open. That's why pride can't hide the truth forever, because no matter how heavy the mask, the heart will always find a way to break through. Actions matter more than words, because words are easy. Anyone can say what they think you want to hear. Promises roll off the tongue without effort. Apologies can be spoken without sincerity, and declarations of love can be made without depth. But actions require intention. They require effort, sacrifice, and consistency. And it's through those actions that the truth of a person's feelings and character is revealed. Words may sound sweet in the moment, but actions are what stand the test of time. Think about it. Someone can say they miss you, but do they show up? They can say they love you, but do they treat you with respect, patience, and kindness? They can promise change, but do they actually do the work to make that change happen? Words are like a spark. They grab attention for a second. Actions are the fire. They sustain warmth, they provide proof, and they carry weight. Without action, words become hollow, like an echo with no substance behind it. When people truly feel something, you don't have to beg them to prove it. Their behavior naturally reflects it. A person who genuinely cares will find a way to show it, even in small things. They'll check on you when you're quiet. They'll make time when they're busy. They'll remember the details that matter to you, not because they have to, but because they want to. That's how you know the difference between someone who talks and someone who means it. The danger comes when we get caught up in words alone. It's easy to be swayed by what sounds good. People can write long messages, say the right things, and paint a beautiful picture with language, but actions cut through the noise. Actions either confirm the words or expose them as empty. You can't fake consistency. You can't fake effort over time. You either show up or you don't. And it's not always the big gestures that matter most. Sometimes it's in the small everyday actions where truth is most visible. It's the consistency of someone keeping their word, the reliability of being where they said they'd be, the little signs of effort that prove you matter to them. Big speeches fade quickly, but steady actions build trust. Trust isn't earned by what people say. It's built by what they repeatedly do. There's another side to this. Your own actions. Just as you expect others to back up their words, you need to do the same. If you value honesty, your actions should reflect that. If you claim to love someone, your behavior should leave no doubt. Your words set expectations, but your actions set the truth. When they align, you create integrity. When they don't, you create confusion and mistrust. So don't fall in love with words alone. Don't rely on promises that haven't been proven. Pay attention to behavior, to effort, to consistency. That's where the truth lives. And don't let yourself become someone whose words are bigger than their actions. Be the kind of person whose behavior speaks for them, whose actions leave no room for doubt, whose effort tells the whole story without needing constant explanations. At the end of the day, words can make you feel good for a moment, but actions give you peace for a lifetime. They tell you where you stand. They reveal what's real, and they separate the ones who mean it from the ones who don't. Words can fool you for a season, but actions will always show the truth. That's why actions matter more than words, because talk might convince you for a while, but actions will show you the reality every single time. Don't put your life on hold waiting for somebody else to figure out what they feel about you. Life is too short and too precious to sit in the waiting room of someone else's indecision. When you press pause on your own growth, your own joy, your own opportunities, you're telling yourself that your worth depends on what somebody else does or doesn't do. That's not living, that's surviving on hope that may never come. It's natural to want clarity. It's natural to hope that someone who once meant something to you will come back around and show you they still care. But when you make that hope the center of your existence, you end up putting your own dreams on the shelf. Days turn into weeks, weeks into months, and before you know it, you've given away time you can never get back. You deserve better than that. You deserve to live fully, even while questions remain unanswered. Think about it. The person you're waiting on is moving through their life. They're making choices, chasing goals, living their story. Meanwhile, you're stuck pressing pause, thinking that if you just wait long enough, they'll come back or they'll finally admit what they feel. But waiting doesn't guarantee anything. If they care, their actions will show it whether you wait or not. If they don't, no amount of waiting will change that truth. All you're doing by holding still is sacrificing your own progress. Living your life doesn't mean you don't care. It doesn't mean you forget or dismiss the connection you once had. It means you value yourself enough not to stop growing while someone else figures themselves out. Growth should never depend on permission. Love yourself enough to keep moving when you chase your own goals. When you pour into your own purpose, you not only protect your peace, you also put yourself in a position to attract people who value you the way you deserve. There's a kind of power that comes from refusing to wait. It's the power of choice, of self-respect, of knowing that your life has meaning with or without someone else's validation. You become stronger when you stop clinging to what might be and start embracing what is. And here's the thing, when you're busy building your life, the right people notice. They see the glow, the confidence, the way you move forward without hesitation. And if the person you once waited for does slip up and reveal their feelings, they'll see you from a distance, thriving, growing, shining, not standing still in the same place they left you. It's not about being cold or heartless. It's about balance. You can care about someone deeply and still refuse to sacrifice your future while they sort out their emotions. You can love without losing yourself. You can hope without halting your progress. Don't confuse patience with passivity. Patience is about strength. It's the ability to keep going even when things aren't clear. Passivity is standing still, doing nothing and letting life pass you by. Choose patience, not passivity. Every day you wake up is a gift. Every moment is a chance to build something, to grow, to take one more step toward the person you're meant to be. Don't waste that waiting for someone else to realize your value. Live your life boldly. Chase your dreams without apology. And if love is meant to find its way back to you, it will, but it should find you moving, not waiting. At the end of the day, don't put your life on hold. The clock doesn't stop ticking while you wait. Time keeps moving, and so should you. Keep building, keep shining, keep growing, because the person who deserves you won't require you to put your own life on pause. They'll want to be part of the life you're already living to the fullest. Focus on your worth, because everything else flows from there. When you know your value, you stop chasing after people who don't see it. You stop begging for attention. Stop accepting half-hearted love, and stop waiting for crumbs when you deserve the whole table. Your worth is not defined by who stays or who leaves, by who compliments you or who ignores you. Your worth is built into you. It's in the way you think, the way you love, the way you push through challenges, and the way you rise every time life tries to knock you down. Too many people spend their lives looking for validation outside themselves. They wait for someone to tell them they're beautiful, smart, worthy of love. And while compliments feel good, they can't be the foundation of your confidence. If your sense of value depends on others, you'll always feel unstable, because people are inconsistent. One day they praise you, the next day they criticize you. One moment they're close, the next they're distant. You can't let shifting opinions determine something as solid as your worth. Focusing on your worth means setting standards. It means you decide what you will and won't accept, not out of arrogance, but out of self-respect. When you recognize your value, you stop tolerating situations that drain you, relationships that belittle you, or opportunities that don't align with your purpose. You realize that protecting your peace is more important than pleasing everyone around you. That shift changes everything. People who respect you will rise to meet your standards. People who don't will fall away. Either way, you win because you've chosen yourself. Your worth is also about what you give yourself permission to pursue. When you underestimate your value, you shrink your dreams. You tell yourself you're not qualified, not talented enough, not experienced enough. But when you understand your worth, you realize you deserve to step into rooms you once thought were too big for you. You deserve to chase goals that scare you, to take chances that could change your life. Believing in your worth fuels courage, and courage opens doors that doubt keeps closed. There will always be voices, sometimes from others, sometimes from inside your own head, that try to make you question yourself. They'll remind you of mistakes, highlight your flaws, or compare you to others. But here's the truth. Worth isn't about perfection. Worth is about authenticity. It's about embracing who you are, flaws and all, and still standing tall in the belief that you matter. The scars you carry don't reduce your value. They prove your strength. The setbacks you face don't erase your worth. They shape your resilience. When you focus on your worth, your relationships change. You no longer settle for people who play games with your heart, because you know love isn't supposed to be confusing. You no longer beg for attention from those who overlook you, because you realize your presence is a gift, not a burden. You attract connections that are healthier, deeper, and more aligned with who you are. Why? Because when you value yourself, you teach others how to value you too. And most importantly, focusing on your worth gives you peace. You stop living in fear of rejection or abandonment, because you know that losing someone doesn't mean losing yourself. You stop needing constant reassurance because your confidence comes from within. You stop feeling guilty for putting yourself first because you finally understand that self-love isn't selfish, it's survival. At the end of the day, your worth is not something you earn, it's something you recognize. It's been inside you all along. The moment you focus on it, everything in your life shifts. You make stronger choices. You build healthier relationships, and you walk with a confidence that can't be shaken. So focus on your worth, because once you do, the world has no choice but to see it too.